What happens when Hollywood's brightest stars spiral out of control? This isn't the glamour you've seen in magazines. This is old Hollywood at its rawest, wildest, and most unhinged. Behind the red carpets were secret affairs, heavy addictions, and scandals so explosive they nearly took down the entire film industry. These 10 actors weren't just icons, they were hazards. They broke the rules, shattered hearts, and sometimes even crossed into criminal territory. Some managed to survive the chaos, others crashed and burned. Robert Mitchum exuded a rugged coolness that few in Hollywood could match. And he lived his life with the same rebellious edge as the characters he portrayed. In 1948, he was arrested at a Hollywood party for smoking marijuana, a scandal that would have destroyed most careers at the time. But Mitchum shrugged it off, famously comparing it to being busted for holding a beer. Instead of fading, the incident only amplified his allure. He became a symbol of defiance, a man who didn't care what anyone thought. Off-screen, Mitchum was a magnet for chaos, known for drunken bar fights, clashing with directors, and treating film sets like battlegrounds. His philosophy was simple: play the role, collect the paycheck, move on. He once joked, "The only difference between me and my characters is I don't shoot people." That line captured his essence perfectly. Dangerous, charming, untamed, and completely unapologetic. John Barrymore, born into the legendary Barrymore acting dynasty, was once hailed as the greatest stage and screen actor of his era. With his commanding voice and Shakespearean prowess, he dazzled audiences in the 1920s and 1930s, but fame couldn't fill the emptiness inside him. Alcohol did. Initially seen as a charismatic partygoer with witty charm, Barrymore's drinking spiraled into ruin. He began forgetting lines, missing rehearsals, and showing up to sets intoxicated, or not at all. The man who once played Hamlet became a punchline, reduced to slurring through comedies to pay the bills. His behavior turned erratic and vulgar. He pulled offensive pranks, flirted inappropriately, and alienated powerful studio heads. Friends tried to intervene, but Barrymore drifted deeper into self-destruction. He lost his wealth, career, and dignity, dying in 1942 at 60. A once brilliant star, John Barrymore became the haunting embodiment of wasted talent and Hollywood's unforgiving nature. Spencer Tracy was revered as one of Hollywood's finest actors, known for his steady presence and powerful performances, but behind the calm facade was a man tormented by inner demons. A devout Catholic, Tracy refused to divorce his wife, even while maintaining a decades-long secret relationship with Katharine Hepburn. Their bond, though deep, was constrained by guilt, secrecy, and his crippling alcoholism. Tracy was a volatile presence off camera. He'd disappear for days on drunken benders, return to set without explanation, and swing between charm and rage. Colleagues described working with him as emotionally exhausting, with one director comparing it to walking on glass with bare feet. Studios protected him because his talent was too valuable, and Hepburn often shielded him from the worst fallout. Beneath the accolades and acclaim was a man weighed down by shame, addiction, and repression. A tragic figure whose greatest performance may have been hiding his pain. Roscoe "Fatty" Arbuckle was one of silent film's biggest stars, beloved for his slapstick comedy and larger-than-life charm. But in 1921, his career imploded after a scandal that rocked Hollywood to its core. At a wild party in San Francisco, Arbuckle was accused of raping and fatally injuring actress Virginia Rappe. Though he was ultimately acquitted after 3 grueling trials, the public had already judged him guilty. Headlines painted him as a monster, church groups boycotted his films, and studios distanced themselves to avoid the backlash. Even after a jury issued an apology and declared there was no evidence of wrongdoing, Arbuckle was blacklisted. He attempted a quiet comeback under a pseudonym, directing low-budget films and taking minor roles, but the shadow of the scandal never lifted. He died in 1933, just hours after signing a long-awaited comeback deal. Arbuckle's fall from grace became a symbol of Hollywood excess and led to the industry's first morality code. Rock Hudson and Tab Hunter were poster boys for 1950s masculinity, handsome, charming, and adored by fans. But behind the carefully constructed images were 2 men forced to hide their true selves. Both were gay at a time when coming out meant career suicide. Studios orchestrated fake romances, arranged staged photo ops, and aggressively suppressed rumors to protect their leading men. Hudson even entered a sham marriage to preserve his image. The cost was immense: constant fear, secrecy, and emotional isolation. Hudson's sexuality was finally revealed in 1985 when he was diagnosed with AIDS, making him the first major celebrity to bring national attention to the crisis. Tab Hunter, after years of silence, told his story in a 2000s memoir, exposing the psychological toll of living a lie. While Hollywood made them icons, it also made them prisoners. Their stories became symbols of both the industry's cruelty and the courage to finally speak out. Charlie Chaplin was a cinematic icon whose silent film masterpieces made the world laugh, but his personal life was anything but comedic. Behind the mustache and slapstick charm lay a man with a deeply disturbing pattern, an attraction to teenage girls. At 35, he married 16-year-old Lita Gray, and the marriage quickly descended into accusations of emotional abuse and control. Later, he was dragged into a scandalous paternity suit with actress Joan Barry. Despite DNA evidence proving he wasn't the father, Chaplin was still ordered to pay child support, and the media feasted on the drama. His troubles didn't end there. He was accused of being a communist sympathizer during the Red Scare, and in 1952, the US government barred him from re-entering the country while he was abroad. Though Chaplin insisted he was just a clown, the truth was far more complex. His genius lit up the screen, but darkness shadowed his legacy. George Reeves became a household name as television's first Superman, embodying truth, justice, and heroic strength. But off-screen, his life was unraveling. In 1959, Reeves was found dead in his bedroom from a gunshot wound to the head. Though ruled a suicide, the circumstances sparked immediate suspicion. The gun had no fingerprints, there were no gunpowder burns, and guests were reportedly downstairs at the time of the shooting. Reeves had been entangled in a volatile affair with Toni Mannix, wife of a powerful MGM executive with alleged mob ties. After ending the relationship and beginning a new one, he claimed he was being watched and followed. Some believed he was planning to leave Hollywood or reveal damaging secrets. Theories swirled: a jealous lover, a studio hit, or a cover-up disguised as suicide. To this day, the mystery remains unsolved. The man who played a superhero died under circumstances that still feel anything but heroic. Marlon Brando revolutionized acting with raw intensity and emotional depth, but his personal life was a storm of chaos and contradiction. Bursting onto the scene with a streetcar named Desire, Brando quickly became both a Hollywood icon and a walking disaster. He had countless affairs with men and women, shattered marriages, and was notorious for his erratic behavior and deep emotional volatility. "I'm not sure I'm a human being," he once said, reflecting the inner turmoil that drove both his brilliance and destruction. His family life was tragic. His son Christian murdered his sister's boyfriend, and his daughter Cheyenne later died by suicide. Brando's grief consumed him. He feuded with studios, refused to play by industry rules, and even declined his Oscar for The Godfather. Colleagues described him as both magnetic and maddening. His performances were unforgettable because they mirrored his own tortured soul, raw, eruptive, and impossible to contain. Errol Flynn wasn't just a matinee idol, he was Hollywood's original bad boy. With his dashing looks, British charm, and devil-may-care attitude, Flynn defined the swashbuckling hero on screen. But off-camera, he was a whirlwind of scandal. In 1942, he was charged with statutory rape by 2 underage girls. Though acquitted, the allegations tarnished his image forever. Rumors swirled about peepholes and secret mirrors in his home, allowing him to spy on unsuspecting guests. Flynn openly bragged about his love of whiskey and young women, once saying, "I like my whiskey old and my women young." Some even suspected him of drug smuggling and ties to Nazi agents during World War II, though nothing was ever proven. By the time he hit 50, years of alcohol abuse and reckless living had ravaged his health. He died young, leaving behind a legacy of charisma, controversy, and caution, forever remembered as a symbol of dangerous allure. Clark Gable was the king of classic Hollywood, handsome, charismatic, and adored by millions. But behind the polished image of Rhett Butler lay disturbing secrets the studios worked hard to bury. During the filming of Call of the Wild, co-star Loretta Young disappeared from the spotlight and later revealed Gable had assaulted her, resulting in a pregnancy. To avoid scandal, the studio orchestrated a cover-up. Young gave birth in secret and later adopted her own daughter. Gable's reputation remained untarnished publicly, though he was notorious in Hollywood circles for his rampant womanizing, including affairs with married women. MGM shielded him at every turn, manipulating the press and silencing critics. As one publicist admitted, "You just had to keep the police out of it." Gable may have played the perfect gentleman on screen, but in private he left behind a legacy of manipulation, cover-ups, and pain few dared to speak about.